Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to your Hatha 1. My name is Lynn. If this is the first time you're meeting, uh, just let me know if you are able to hear me clearly, as this is my first time doing for doing an IG live class. So let me know if you are able to hear. Alright, if you can't hear me clearly, let me know in the comments below. Hi Amy, I hope you enjoyed the class. Okay. Alright, so before the start of class, we'll just wait about 1-2 minutes. Can hear? Okay, good, Ronnie. Okay, make sure you ideally have about 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, at least a big tower that you're able to roll up. Okay, so just make sure you at least have 1 big tower, otherwise 2 blocks if you can. Okay, make sure you have your water as well as a small towel to wipe off your sweat later on. Okay. Thank you for rushing back, Audrey. Okay, so while we are waiting for the rest to join, today what we'll be working on is a little bit more on the strength on your arms. So especially if you have been doing a lot more jogging, running, cycling, walking during the CB period, today this class will be for you. So we're taking a little bit more break on your lower body. You'll do a lot more stretches for your hips, and then we'll focus a lot more on building strength in your arms, all right, as well as your core. Okay, so if anyone will have any wrist injuries, make sure you take it easy for yourself. If this is the first few times you're going through a Hatha 1 class, make sure you listen to your body. If you notice any pinching pain in any parts of your joints, especially your shoulders as well as your lower back, make sure you ease off from the pose. Okay, all right, so especially if you're at home, take note of your breath. If you start to notice yourself panting a lot, make sure you have enough air circulation. Take a rest whenever you need to. Okay? Right, so if you have your blocks with you, stack your blocks side to side and start to come into a comfortable seat. If you don't have your blocks, you can sit onto the towel instead. Make sure you place it close towards your hips. Peel the fleshy parts away from your sitting bones. Now allow yourself to sit comfortably. Gentle tilt of your tailbone, lift from your lower back. Okay, allow yourself to sit up tall, roll your shoulders back and down. Palms onto your thighs, allow your spine to lengthen, and gently close your eyes. While we wait for the rest to join, just give yourself this time to settle down into your mat. Right, so at the end of the class, about 5 minutes, I'll be giving that time for any questions, any feedback. We'll chat a little more in the comment section below. So make sure you stay throughout the class, especially give yourself the time for Savasana. Okay? As you start to quiet down your mind, maybe start to listen to the sounds of your surrounding. Start to listen to the sound of your breathing. Allow yourself to tune out for the next 60 minutes. Just focus on yourself, on your own practice. Set everything else aside. Listen to your body at all times. Make sure you take the options that serves you today. Right. Now as you inhale, feel the lengthening of your tailbone all the way up towards the crown of your head. As you exhale, think of relaxing your shoulders away from your ears, rooting your sitting bones towards your blocks, towards the ground. Now keeping your eyes closed, slowly next inhale, reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms up. Bring your biceps close to your ears. Now gently drop your chin towards your chest. Keep reaching your arms up high, or maybe you can reach your arms slightly towards the back. Feel the gentle opening in your chest. So allow your neck to relax, focus on opening up your shoulders and your chest. Inhale back to center. Now reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Start to bend into your right elbow. Left palm grabs hold onto your right elbow. Think of bringing your right elbow behind your hip. Use your hip, gently push against your right elbow. Feel the opening in your chest and your right shoulder. Now option 1, you can stay here. Option 2, right palm grabs hold onto your left armpit. Start to extend your left fingertips towards the left. Inhale, lengthen, gently push your hip against your right arm. Exhale, left fingertips, think of reaching towards the left side. You don't need to go all the way, just feel the slight gentle stretch in the right side of your body. Try not to drop your head down, think of resting your head against your arms. Those who can go further, maybe your left fingertips will reach the mat. Inhale, reach your arms back up, release your right arm, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your left elbow, right palm grabs hold onto your left elbow, stretch towards the right. Now start to bring your left palm onto your right armpit, extend right fingertips towards the right side. Inhale, lift your chest, rest your head back. Either you stay here or add on a side stretch. Inhale, bring both arms back to center, reach your arms up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release your palms onto your thighs. Now think of pushing your palms against your thighs, scrunch your shoulders towards your ears. Lean slightly forward, push your butt back. Feel the lengthening in your lower back. So keep pressing your thighs down, lifting your chest up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop your left shoulder forward, open your chest towards the right. Feel the twist from your left lower back, maybe gaze over your right shoulder. Left palm, keep pushing against your left thigh, micro bend your right elbow. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop your right shoulder forward, bend your left elbow, open chest to the left. Inhale, back to center. Reach your arms back up again. One last stretch of your spine. Flip your palms, lengthen your spine. Hug your lower belly in, reach up high. Exhale, release your palms down. Now set the blocks aside. You're now coming into your tabletop position. So I'm going to show you from the side angle. Make sure your palms are shoulder width apart. Knees are hip width distance apart. Start off by gazing towards your thumb line, gentle rounding in your spine, push your palms into the neck. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chin, just a gentle arch into cow to open up your spine. Exhale, round your spine, think of angry cat, scoop your tailbone, protract your upper back. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chin. Exhale, round your spine, scoop your tailbone, protract your upper back. Now 2 more rounds. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chin. Exhale, round your spine, scoop your tailbone, keep pushing your palms into the mat. Last round. Inhale, lift tailbone, lift your chin. Exhale, round your spine, protract your upper back. Now everyone hold it in your cat spine. Make sure your arms stay straight. Now wrap your triceps in, elbow eyes, turn slightly forward. Inhale, rounding your spine. Exhale, lean your shoulders over your wrists. Now keep pressing your finger pads into the mat, warming up your wrists. Exhale, push your butt cheeks towards your heels, keep your toes tucked. Feel the stretch in the back of your heels, feel the stretch in your toes. 2 more rounds. Inhale, roll yourself forward, keeping your cat spine. Draw your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, push your butt towards your heels. Now the more you press your finger pads down, the more you feel the activation in your forearms. You're trying to draw it away from your wrist. Last round, inhale to roll your shoulders over your wrist. Exhale, push your butt towards your heels. Keep pushing the front of the mat away from you. Inhale, roll yourself back into tabletop. Now flip your palms up, left palm up. If this is too much for you, you can do it 1 palm at a time. Left fingertips point towards you. If you can, right fingertips point towards you. Otherwise, 1 palm at a time. Rounding your spine. Make sure you keep pressing the heels of your wrists into the mat. Either you stay here or you start to lean your hips towards your heels. Feel the stretch in your forearms and the base of your wrist. Keep hugging your belly in. 3. Keep your arms straight. 2 and 1. Inhale, slowly lean back forward. Flip your palms back 1 at a time. Inhale to arch your spine again, tailbone up, chin up. Exhale, rounding the spine into angry cat. Now option 1, you hold it here. Option 2, those who can go further, hover your knees 1 inch off the ground. Now keep your shoulders back over your wrist or slightly over your wrist. Keep your knees close to the ground, hold it there. Feel the firing up of your core. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, knees onto the mat, untuck your toes. Come to child's pose, just take the breath. Rest your forehead onto the mat. Reach your arms towards the back. Relax your shoulders over your knees. Maybe clench your fists and release your palms. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring your palms under your shoulders. Lift yourself back, come to tabletop. Now this time round, you're going to make sure that your blocks are in the second height, vertically placed in front of you. Make sure your blocks is shoulder width apart, okay? And then once you're settled here, on this side view, make sure your middle finger is placed directly behind your block. Okay, alright, so once you're here, place your palms down. You're going to reset yourself back to tabletop. Curl your toes under, hug your belly in. So no arch in your spine, so don't flare your chest. Hug your belly, round your spine. Inhale, think of leaning your shoulders over your wrists again. Exhale, bend your elbows towards your ribcage. Think of bringing your shoulders to touch the block, lightly touching the block. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale into your child's pose. Now you're going to do a few more rounds. So those without the blocks, you can just hold it in your plank, shoulders over wrist. Those with blocks, if it's too much for you to do the reps, you're going to rest your shoulders onto the blocks. Maybe think about lifting your knees off the mat, squeeze your glutes. Final option, everyone else, you're going to follow me and do the reps. Okay, once you're ready, come back up into your tabletop. Inhale, rounding the spine, think of angry cat. Lean your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, bend elbows, touch the block. Inhale, push up. Exhale, bend for 2. Inhale, push up. Exhale, bend for 3. Just 2 more times. Inhale, push up. Exhale, bend for 4. Last round. Inhale, push up. hold it here. Lightly touching the block. Your shoulders is light on the blocks. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees off the mat. Keep gazing forward. 5. Hug your lower belly in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees down. Inhale. Push yourself up. Exhale. Come to child's pose. Forehead down. Hips onto your heels. Reach your arms back. Option to stay here. Relax your shoulders over your knees. If you want a deeper release in your shoulders, maybe interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Think of reaching a fist over your head. You can choose to stay in stillness or just sway your arms gently side by side. Now back to stillness. Release your palms. Lift yourself up. You're just going to take a little break. Okay, we are coming into Vajrasana. So make sure your knee stays together. Bring your toes apart. Sit. Roll your calves out and allow your hips to sit in between your feet. If this is too much for you, you're going to place a block under your sitting bones. If you don't have a block, you can also place your towel under your sitting bones. So rolling your calf out. Find a stable stance. Option 1, you stay here. Think of walking your fingertips back, just lean back. Those who can go further, maybe come onto your forearms. Alright, final option. Those who want to go deeper, you have to make sure that there's no block or towel below your sitting bones. Then you can lie down all the way. So those with blocks or towel below your sitting bones, you're going to come maximum towards your forearms. Alright, so only those without the block, you can lie back all the way. Then maybe reach your arms over your head, grab hold opposite elbows. Now once you lay back down, make sure you keep squeezing your knees together. Press the top parts of your heels into the mat. Alright, so start to feel the opening in your inner thighs. Using this time to rest. Just for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come out of the pose. Come back onto your forearms. Take it slow. Slowly come back onto your palms. Walk your palms forward. Come into your tabletop. Pedal your legs to release your inner thighs, release your hips. Now whenever you're ready, you're going to tuck your toes, come up into your first downward facing dog. Make sure you pedal your heels out once you're in downward dog. Think of grounding your heels towards the mat. Feel the stretch in the back of your hamstrings. Slowly come back into stillness. If it's too much on your hamstrings, you can micro bend your knees. Now think of pushing your chest back, lift your hips up. Try to draw weight away from your wrist. Inhale, roll forward into your plank pose. Now using this time to find your steps. If your hips are higher than your shoulders, walk your legs back. Hug your core in, scoop your tailbone under. Holding it here for 5. Keep pushing your palms into the mat. Round your upper back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Soft bend in your knees. Push your chest back, hips up. Inhale, gaze forward. Step your right foot forward. Left foot forward. You're coming into your halfway lift. Now gentle arching your spine, think of pushing your tailbone back. Soft bend in your knees, exhale, forward fold. Make sure your feet is hip width distance apart. Keep your knees micro bent, grab hold opposite elbows. You're coming into ragdoll, just give yourself some time to take a breath. Once you're in ragdoll, sway your torso side to side. You can shake your head no, nod your head yes. Now allow yourself to find space in your spine. Allow your neck to relax down. Think of bringing your forearms closer and closer towards your toes. 3, 2, and 1. Back to stillness, release your arms. Roll yourself up, vertebrae at a time. Rolling your shoulders back and down. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms up, straighten your arms. Slowly release your palms onto your hips. Now you're going to start off by opening up your hips to ground down into your left foot. Bring your right knee towards your chest. Flex into your right foot, find a stable stand, lifting your chest up, pull your knees towards your armpit. Left palm onto your left hip. Now think of opening your right knee towards the side. Draw circles with your right knee just to open up your hips. 3. Now those who are close to a wall and you don't find yourself stable, you can rest your palms onto a wall. 2. And 1. Slowly release your right foot down. Once you're ready, lean towards your right foot, lift your left knee towards your chest. Now you're still warming up your hips, so take it easy. If you need to, right palm onto a wall. Otherwise, right palm onto your hips and start to open up your left knee. Think of drawing circles with your left knee. Keep opening up towards the left. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring your left leg back to center. Ground your left foot down. Open, make sure your feet is hip width distance. Inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms up again. Okay, from the side view, once you're stable, inhale, lift both heels off the ground. Think of activating your calves, your quads, squeeze into your butt. Exhale, ground your heels down. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, ground for 2. Inhale, lift your heels, find your balance stance, start to activate your thighs. Exhale, ground. Last round, inhale, lift your heels, squeeze your glutes, lift your chest. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly ground your heels down, reach your arms up. Lengthen spine, we inhale. Hinge from your hips, exhale, we fold. Bring your feet together, big toes to touch. Bend your knees, come into chair pose this time round. Hug your belly in, push your butt back, sit back. Activate your inner thighs, inhale, lift both heels off the mat. If you can, squeeze your heels together to touch, sit your hips down low. 3, 2, and 1. Release your palms onto the mat. Step your right leg, big step back. Once you're here, you're going to take 2 of your blocks. Make sure your blocks is on the highest height, shoulder width apart. Inhale, lower your right hip, come to runner's lunge. Think of stretching out your right hip flexor. Keep pushing your pelvic forward, lift your chest. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Pull your left hip back, square your hips. Inhale, lower your hips, lift your chest. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Think of lengthening your left hamstring as much as you can. Last round, inhale, lower your right hip, lift your chest, hold it here. Too much for you, you can rest your right knee down, but keep lifting your chest, keep pushing your hips forward. Those who can go further, lifting your right knee off, keep lifting your chest. Push your palms against the block. 3, 2, and 1. Now start to straighten your left leg. You're going to hold it in pyramid pose, so if the stance is too wide, take half a step forward, ground your right heel down. Start to straighten your left leg, pull your left hip back. Those who can go further, flex your left toes towards your face. Now feel the stretch in the back of your left hamstring. Those who don't feel it, you can bend your elbows, think of bringing your belly closer to your left thigh. Focus on the stretch in your left hamstring for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly rebend your left knee, right knee back onto the mat. Release the block, right palm inside your left foot, reach your left arm up, easy side twist, open towards the left side. Bring your left palm behind your back. If you can find your right hip, grab hold onto your right hip, roll your left shoulder up. Tuck your back toes, lift your right knee off the mat, think of opening your chest towards the ceiling. Holding it here for 5. Keep pushing into your right palm. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release left palm onto the mat. Step the left leg back into downward dog. Take a deep breath in, soften in your knees if you need. Deep breath up. Inhale, roll yourself forward, come to your plank pose. Now those who need to, drop your knees down, blocks in front of your palms. Prepare for your chaturanga. Once you're ready, lean your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, bend elbows, shoulders touch the block. Untuck your toes, inhale, lift your chest up, come to cobra. If you notice tension in your lower back, micro bend your elbows, squeeze your elbows into your ribs. Exhale, tuck your toes, push yourself back, downward facing dog. Once you're in downward dog, okay, from the front angle, bring your heels together to touch, open your toes out wide. Think of a diamond shape. So as you look towards your toes, your knees are opening out wide. Grab hold onto the edges of your blocks, on your mat. Pull into the mat, push your chest back, lift your hips up. Think of a diamond shape downward dog. Keep lifting your butt up, open your knees apart, bring your chest in between your inner thighs. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, palms back onto the mat. Open your feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, lift your heels. Reach your right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Bend into your right knee, come to scorpion tail. Open your hips towards the right. Think of pointing your right knee towards the sky. Right knee towards your forehead, square your hips, round your spine, shoulders over your wrist. Step your right foot between your palms. Use your blocks again, highest height. Inhale, lower your left hip. This time round, lift your chest. Make sure your right knee is directly above your right ankle. If it's too far forward, you start to open your hips. Your hip starts to get slanted. So make sure you adjust your stance. Right knee steps above your right ankle. Lift your chest. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Pull your right hip back. First round, just take it easy. Think of straightening your right leg to lengthen your right hamstring. Inhale, bend your right knee, lift your chest, lower your hips. Exhale, straighten your right leg, pull your right hip back. Last round, you're going to hold. Inhale, lower your hips, chest up. If you need to, rest your left knee down. Keep pushing your hips forward. Focus on the stretch in your left hip flexor. Okay, so from the other side view, feel the pushing of your left hip forward. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Flex your right toes towards your face. So if you need to, take half a step forward with your left foot, ground your left heel down. Think of squaring your hips by pulling your right hip back. Flex your right toes if you did it the previous side. Final option, bend your elbows to bring your belly closer towards your right thigh. Just one more breath here. Inhale, bend your right knee, set your blocks aside. Left knee onto the ground, left palm inside your right foot. Inhale, reach your right arm up, open your chest to the right. Come to half bind, right palm, grab. Right behind your back, grab hold onto your left hip. Roll your right shoulder up, tap your back toes, left knee off the mat. Keep lifting your chest, open your heart towards the ceiling. 3, keep pushing your left palm into the ground. 2, and 1. Slowly release your right palm onto the mat, step your left leg forward to meet your right. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine, gentle arch. Forward fold, exhale your breath. Root to rise, inhale, reach your arms up, lengthen the spine. Now once you're here, open your feet hip width distance, place your palms behind your lower back. Support your sacrum, inhale, squeeze your elbows in towards midline. Lift the chest, exhale, push your pelvic forward. So you don't need to go too deep into your back bend, focus on the opening in your front hips. Soft bend in your knees, push your knees, bend your knees, push your pelvic forward. Okay, so from the side view, you're just lifting your chest, keep squeezing elbows in. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly roll yourself up vertebrae at a time. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the ceiling, lengthen your spine. Hinge from your hips, exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, palms down. This time round, left leg, big step back. Once you're here, adjust your stance, left knee touch down to the ground first. Left palm inside your right foot, right palm against your right inner thigh. Think of pushing your right knee up, open your chest towards the right. So roll your right shoulder back, left shoulder forward. Try not to sink, think of lifting your chest. Just like what you did earlier on, think of pushing your pelvic forward, lift your heart. Now roll onto the outer edges of your right foot, keep opening your chest. Option to stay here, option to add on a quad stretch on your left leg, start to bend into your left knee, right arm reach back. If you need to, you can lift your hips first, grab hold onto your left foot, squeeze your left heel towards your butt, then you gradually start to push your pelvic forward, lower your hips down. Now focus on the opening in your hips for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release your back leg, square your hips, place your right palm down. Ground your right foot first, then push your hips back. Make sure your hips step above your left knee. Grab hold onto your blocks again. Start to straighten your right leg, come into your half split. So from the side view, make sure your hips are square. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. Using the blocks to support you, make sure your blocks are under your shoulders. Halfway lift, we lengthen. Exhale, push your hips back, reach your torso forward, see if you can bring your belly closer towards your thighs. Too much for you, keep your spine lifted, focus on straightening your right leg, and think of squaring your hips. Okay, the more you flex your right toes towards your face, activate your right quads. Think of pulling your right quads towards your right hip socket. The more you activate your front thigh, the more you find lengthening in the back of your right hamstring. 3, 2, and 1. You bend your right knee, lift both arms up. Come into your low lunge, inhale, palms to your heart center. Exhale, twist towards the right. Use your right palm if you need to. Push your thighs in, hook your left elbow outside your right outer thigh. Once you find this hook, bring your palms to heart center. Twist your chest open, bring your chest to meet your palms. Now try not to rest onto your right thigh. It's too much for your right thigh to hold. So think of pulling your side body away from your right thigh. Keep lifting your chest. Actively push your elbows against your right outer thigh. If you can go further, tuck your back toes. Think of pushing your left heel back. Lift your left knee off the ground. So it's an upward lifting feeling. Every inhale, finding length in your spine. As you exhale, you twist. 3, 2, and 1. With control, look down towards the mat first. Release your palms onto the ground. Step your right leg all the way back into your downward facing dog. Now once you're in downward dog, if you need the blocks for chaturanga, set up your blocks in front of your middle finger first. Soften if you're in your knees if you need. You push your hips up, chest back. Inhale, lean forward into your plank pose. This time round, if you want to try a full chaturanga, make sure your hips are in line with your shoulders. Hug your elbows in towards your ribs as you exhale, shoulders touch the block. Too much for you, rest your knees down. Inhale, untuck your toes, lift your chest, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog, lifting your hips, push your chest back. Inhale, lift your heels. Once you're ready, left leg reach up towards the ceiling. Bend into your left knee, come to scorpion tail. Think of opening your left knee towards the ceiling, open hips to the left. Come onto your right tippy toes. Inhale, left knee towards your forehead, round your spine, shoulders over wrist. Gaze between your palms, step your left foot through. Okay. Make sure the block is close to you. Come onto your right knee. Left palm against your left inner thigh. Right palm can stay on the mat or place your right palm onto a block. Push your left knee up. So from the other side, as you notice my left foot, I'm rolling onto the outer edges of my left foot. Start to open your chest towards the left. So roll your left shoulder back. So from the other side, roll your left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Option to stay here. Option to add on quad stretch on your right thigh. Bend into your right knee. Left arm can reach back. If you need to, lift your hips first, then grab hold onto your right foot. Heels to butt, then you start to lower your hips. Keep lifting your chest, try not to collapse onto your right palm. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release your right leg back down. Inhale, lift your hips, come back into your low lunge. Make sure your hips stay stacked above your right knee. Palms to heart center, inhale. Exhale, twist towards the left. Now if you need to, left palm push your left thigh in, find a deeper hold. Once your right elbow is outside your left outer thigh, palms together to touch, open chest towards your palms. Roll your left shoulder up, right shoulder down. Those who did it the previous side, tuck your right toes, you know, pushing your right heel back, lift your right knee off the mat. Remember not to rest your belly on your thigh, keep lifting your chest. 3, 2, and 1. Gaze down to the mat, slowly release your palms down onto the ground. We forgot our half splits, so rest your right knee back down first. Use your blocks if you need. Come to the highest height or the second height. Straighten your left leg first, pull your left hip back. Actively flex your left foot towards your face. Halfway lift, lengthen, blocks under your shoulders. Exhale, gently fold forward, pull your left hip back, torso reaching forward. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly rebend your front knee, palms onto the mat, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Forward fold, exhale your breath. Root to rise, inhale, reach your arms up, maybe a gentle back bend if you need to, support your hips. Squeeze your elbows in, push your pelvic forward, lift your chest. Inhale, roll yourself up, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Now once you're here, open your feet neck width distance apart. Turn your toes out, bend your knees, come to Malasana sport. Okay, so for today, your Malasana, you're not going to use the blocks. So those who can't ground your heels, it's okay, because you're going to use your elbows to push your knees out, lifting your chest. Everyone come onto your tippy toes. So lifting your heels away from the mat. Keep lifting your chest, think of tailbone pointing down towards the mat. Keep using your elbows to push your knees out. Those who wants to go into a deeper opening in your hip flexor, come onto your fingertips. Lift your palms away from each other and push your knees upwards more. Keep lifting your chest. 5, 4, keep on holding here. 3, 2, and 1. Release your palms down, ground your heels, lift your hips up, or step back into your downward dog. Use your downward dog as a gentle release, so soft bend in your knees, keep pushing your hips up, press your chest back. Inhale, draw your feet together, lift your hips. Inhale, right leg reach up, bend into your right knee, second round of scorpion tail. This time round, if you can, look underneath your right armpit, left heel, try to ground down towards the ground as much as you can. Now keep lifting your right knee towards the ceiling, keep pushing your chest towards your left thigh. Inhale, lift your left heel, right knee towards your right wrist. You're coming into resting pigeon, so drop your right knee behind your right wrist, rest your right leg down. Left knee onto the mat, slowly lift your chest up. Okay, so once you're here, from the front, make sure your right knee is not in front of your belly, because once you rest, you don't feel the stretch. So make sure you walk your right knee towards the right side. Okay? Those who have tighter hip flexor, your right heel can go closer towards your groin. Okay, for those who can go a little deeper, you're going to draw your right heel forward, bring it parallel to your right knee. So think of squaring your hips, roll your left hip down, lift your chest. For those who find it hard to ground down, you're going to place a block under your right sitting bone. If you don't have a block, you can use a towel as well. Place it onto your right butt cheek. So think about leaning more towards the left side. Slowly start to walk your fingertips forward. Think of resting your belly over your right thigh. You can come onto your forearms. You can extend your arms all the way forward, forehead onto the mat. Too much for you, you can rest your forehead onto the block. So think about leaning more towards the left side. So the block on your right butt cheek to help you to lift your right hip up and lean your weight towards the left. So once you're rested, you can untuck your back toes, allow your hips to go closer to the ground. Using this time to release, find back your breathing. Feel a deeper stretch in your right outer butt cheeks. Inhale, walk your fingertips back to you, lift your chest up. Okay, release the block first, lean towards your right butt cheek. You're going to swing your left leg forward on top of your right. So once you're here, from the front view, you're coming into cow face pose. So you can think about stacking your left knee on top of your right knee. Bring your heels close towards your outer butt cheeks. For those who find it hard to do so, you can just come into a comfortable cross-legged position with your left leg on top of your right. Okay, inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, think of folding forward. Use your belly to rest your weight onto your left thigh. Okay, so the more you cross, the more you start to feel it in your left outer butt cheeks. So if you need to, blocks can be under your forearms. You can rest, or you can place your block in front of you to rest your forehead onto the block. For those who are in your full cow face pose, you can think of bringing your chin to hook onto your left knee and keep walking your fingertips forward. The more you rest your weight onto your thighs, the deeper you feel the stretch. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly walk your fingertips back to you. Alright, you're now going to just straighten your bottom leg forward. You can stack your left heel on top of your right hip. Come to your half lotus legs. For those who find it hard to do so, your left foot will go inside your left inner thigh, coming to giant Sisa. One-legged sit-up forward fold. Okay? Flex your right foot. So bring your left heel towards your right hip or left foot inside your right inner thigh. Reaching your arms up, inhale. Hinge from your hips, exhale, you fold. So from the side view, try not to think of rounding your spine a bit. So think of pushing your butt back, keep extending your spine forward. So if you need, you can rest your palms onto the mat. Okay, try not to round the lower back, think of extension of your spine towards your right toes. Keep flexing your right toes, keep pressing the back of your right thigh into the mat. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lift yourself up. Bend your knees, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your thighs, forehead on your knees. Just a quick breather here. Once you're ready, uncross your legs, palms down, step back into downward dog. Once you're in downward dog, lift your hips up, hug your lower belly in. Final set to go, and we'll move into our final pose and we can rest, okay? Bring your feet together, lift your heels. Once you're ready, left leg reach up to the ceiling, bend your left knee, open hips. You can choose to stay here, or if you can go a little further, gaze underneath your left armpit, ground your right heel towards the mat. Open your left knee as high towards the sky as you can. Inhale, lift your right heel up, left knee towards your left wrist. Slowly, rest your left knee down, rest your right knee down, come to resting pigeon. So same as before, this time round, your block will go underneath your left butt cheek. Alright, make sure your hips are squared, so your right toes is tucked under to make sure your hips are squaring down. So if you notice your right toe starts to flare to the right side, means you're leaning too much towards the left. So try to make sure your right toes is able to tuck towards the ground. Lift your chest first. Left knee towards the left side. Make sure it's not resting in front of your belly. Alright, once you're ready, lengthen spine. Exhale, walk your fingertips forward. Come onto your forearms again, or rest your forehead on the block. Final option is to extend your fingertips all the way forward, allow your forehead to rest. Whichever variation you are in, think of leaning more of your weight towards the right side. So if you notice yourself leaning too much to your left, use a block, place it under your left butt cheek. Untucking your right toes to allow your hips to go down lower. Just one more breath here. Once you're ready, walk your fingertips back to you, lift your chest. Slide the block away from you first, sit onto your left butt cheek, lean towards the left, swing your right leg forward. Preparing for cow face pose. This time round, right thigh above your left thigh. If you can, stack your knees on top of each other. Too much for you, comfortable seated position. If you need to, you can always place a towel or the block under your sitting bones. Lifting your chest up, inhale. Hinge from your hips, push your butt back, reach forward. Rest your forearms down or rest your forehead on the block. Those in full cow face pose, hook your chin onto your right knee. Keep charging your torso as if you're walking your fingertips forward. Rest your belly on your back. Inhale, walk your fingertips back up. Okay, once you're here, slowly straighten your bottom leg forward. So if you need to, release your top leg first. Straighten your left leg forward, right foot against your left inner thigh. Flex your left toes up. Those who can, half lotus pose, right heel onto your left hip. Lift your chest, inhale. Lift from the lower back. Exhale, forward fold. Okay, so don't focus too much on reaching forward. Think of lengthening your spine as much as you can. So try not to round your lower back. Try not to round, think of reaching forward. So if you can't reach your toes, it's okay. Think of placing your palms onto the mat or your block. Push your hips back, keep reaching forward. Just for one more breath here. Slowly, next inhale, lift yourself back up. Okay, release your top leg first. You're not going to go back. Bring the soles of your feet together. Just come to your Baddha Konasana for a gentle release. Open your feet out like a book. Press your knees down, lift your chest. If you can't ground your lower back down, sitting bones on the block. Lift your chest, inhale. Hinge from your hips, exhale, fold. Use your elbows, press against your inner thighs. If your elbows are able to reach your thighs, think of pushing your thighs down, lengthening your spine forward. Think of bringing your chest towards your feet. Just give yourself some time just to release, deepening the opening in your hips. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release from your Baddha Konasana. Okay, so now we are coming into our final pose, which is your Tulasana, or some we call it Tulasana. Alright, so option 1 is to bring your right leg, straighten both legs first, bend your right knee in towards your chest. Now, those who can do your half lotus earlier on, you can bring your right heel towards your left hip. If you can do this, maybe you try your full lotus pose, but be careful of your ankle, be careful of your knee. If you start to notice pinching pain, don't do it. Alright, so if you can, bring your left leg on top of your right, come to full lotus legs. For those who can't do it, you're going to come into a comfortable seated position with your right thigh above your left. Okay, whichever option you're taking, blocks. Come towards the lowest height is the most stable option. For those who need a higher height to help you to elevate, then you're going to come towards the second height. Try not to come to the third height because it's too dangerous for you. You find that your blocks are too wobbly. Alright, so make sure your blocks are right beside your hips. Okay, I'm showing you in a comfortable seated position without the lotus legs, but those who can go into lotus legs, go ahead to do so. Alright, so from the side view, blocks beside your hips. So Tolasana, you're using a lot more on your core and a lot in your arms, but make sure you keep your legs active. So even if you're in a comfortable seat, full lotus or comfortable seated position, lift your knees towards your chest. So those with your comfortable seat, your bottom leg is away. So think of squeezing heels towards your thighs. So crunch it in, round your spine. Palms onto the block. Think of bending your elbows, hug your elbows into your ribcage. Think of leaning your shoulders forward. Push your hips back. Lift your hips off the ground. So your legs is constantly squeezing into your thighs. So even if you're not in full lotus legs, it's okay. Hugging your core in, round your spine, just for 3, 2, and 1. Rest your hips down slowly, especially those in full lotus legs. Release your left leg forward. Release your right leg forward. Pedal your legs up. Alright, one last time to go. Usually, because the tightness of our hips is different for every single one of you, so maybe on the second side, your lotus legs, full lotus legs might be a little bit more comfortable for you. For some, it might be a little bit more awkward. But just to balance it out, we're going to try out on the other side. Alright, once you're ready, back to stillness, bend left heel towards your butt. For those who can't go into full lotus legs, this time round, right leg will be under your left thigh. Those who can go into full lotus, right heel towards your left hip after your left leg is lifted first. Okay, once you're here, from the side view, blocks beside your hips. Bend your palms onto the blocks, elbows hug in towards your ribcage. Lean your shoulders forward, hug your belly in. Lift your knees up, crunch it close towards your chest. Once you're ready, think of leaning your shoulders forward like chaturanga. Elbows keep hugging in. Think of pushing your hips back to lift your hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release your hips. Release your legs one at a time. Right leg first. Slowly lean to your right butt cheek, then left leg out. Paddle your legs, release your hips. Once you're ready, you're going to sit onto your hips, lie back all the way down, hug both knees in towards your chest. Lay onto your mat, think of rolling from side to side, massaging your butt cheeks, massaging your glutes. Time flies by, so now we're going to slow down our practice. Just a quick release. Back to stillness. Extend both arms towards the side like a capital letter T shape. You're going to drop both knees towards the right side. Turn your gaze towards the left. Come into a gentle supine twist to release your lower back. Once you're ready, lift yourself all the way back to center, knees to chest. Drop both knees towards the left, turn your gaze towards your right fingertips. Slowing down your practice, start to focus on the lengthening in your breath. Inhale back to center. Just gently hug your knees in towards your chest, lift your forehead towards your wrist. Open your knees apart, grab hold onto the outer edges of your feet like a Baddha Konasana. Draw your forehead towards your toes, keep opening your knees apart. 3, 2, and 1. Now keep your feet, just gently bring your legs onto the mat, come to your Baddha Konasana, lying down. Knees apart, palms onto your inner thighs. Just gently relax your shoulders onto the mat. Start to close your eyes. You can choose to stay here or start to straighten your legs, come into your final resting pose. I'm sorry we don't have a lot of time, so those who have any questions, you may just comment it onto the chat and I will try to reply you. Otherwise, if you're feeling comfortable, just stay in your Savasana, allow yourself to rest. I thank everyone for coming to class today. I hope you have enjoyed your time. Maybe getting to know a little bit more about how to start to activating your core and your arms to go into some arm balances, and hopefully it helps you to open up your hips throughout this practice.